All right, second take of season 2, episode 6. I'm in the only quiet room in my house, so I'm going to be doing it from in here. Judah seems to always have to have a friend over. All right, so if we look at the standings here, me and Kirk are both tied for first. I have the official lead because I've got him by like 50 points for the point lead, so that's kind of the decider. But it doesn't matter right now. We're both tied at 5-1, and then Josh is coming in second. He's a full game ahead of third place, which is Bill, Sherry, and Gina, and then Glenn, Jeff, and Dwayne are tied for fourth, and Todd is in fifth. Todd's having a rough year. All right, so if we look at points for right now, I've got the point lead by about 51 points over Kirk. But in the point bet lead that we have going on, I am about 93 points above the next person. So that bet will end at the end of the regular season. So when the fantasy football playoffs start, that's when that bet will end, and the person with the point lead will get that. I think it's $150. After that, it's going to the person behind me on the point lead is Bill right now that bet money. So Bill is next in line for the bet. But I got 93 points on him right now. All right, so if we look at points against, let's look at that real quick since I got a little bit of time. The person that has had the easiest road so far is Sherry. She's just had 506 points scored against her. That is 150 less than the most person, so pretty nice. Nice to be her there. Gina has had the second least, so both girls have had the least points scored against them. Gina's had 543, and then I'm in third with the 584. And then the rest of them are fairly close, except for Dwayne, who's had 651 scored against him. So he's had more scored against him. The next person is about 19 points behind him. So he's had 19 more points than the next person. I thought this was interesting. I wanted to just kind of point this out. So they have a list of how many moves you've made in free agency on here. So the number one person that's made the most moves right now is Jeff with 19, and then Dwayne with 18. I've made 17, and Sherry has made 14 moves. The rest of you are fairly close, except for Kirk, who's made no moves in free agency at all. So just kind of an interesting thing to point out. All right, let's get into last week here. Last week was me versus Todd, and it was so far, I would say, the game of the year. It was wild. I won by 0.42 points. So I won by 4 yards. Crazy. I can't. The only one closer in this that there might be some closer ones in this, but I won by 0.42 yards. Let's see here. Derrick Henry had a huge game, 26 points for me. Montgomery came through with 20 points. Sam Laporta caught one catch for 52 yards and a touchdown. Other than that, those were my big guys. On the other side, he had C.J. Stroud, had a nice game. Garrett Wilson came through with 17 points. He had me worried on Monday night. He needed one more catch, and I would have been done. Keenan Allen actually showed up, of course, for 2 touchdowns, 16 points. A.J. Brown, 18 points. He had a good week. Todd deserved better than that this week. It sucks seems like in fantasy, whenever you're having a bad year, everything is going wrong, and that's just how it is. He did leave Purdy on his bench for 33 points. Looks like Tyler Lockett got 12, so a little bit of stuff left on his bench there, but not bad. I mean, he made the right decisions. I just outscored him by a little bit. All right, so Kirk versus Glenn. Kirk ended up winning by 5 points. Jordan Love went off for him, almost got 35. Breece Hall finally came around with 17, almost 18. Alvin Kamara for Kirk did okay. On the other side, Jalen Hurts got 26. Madison had a good game, 12. Bucky Irving had 16. Devontae Smith had 13. Andrews had 12. So, I mean, Glenn had a decent week. I don't know where. Oh, his Cowboys defense. Glenn, if you're gonna play defense, make sure they're not playing a good team. You don't want to put in a defense, even if it's a great defense. You don't want to play that defense if they're going up against a high-powered offense because it's not going to turn out well, and that's what happened. Cowboys have an okay defense, usually does okay, but going up against Detroit, not a good idea. So that's what happened. He didn't really leave a whole lot of points on his bench for Glenn. On the other side, Kirk left Godwin on his bench for almost 30 points, so that would have been a big deal if Kirk had lost, but he won anyway. All right, so Josh versus Sherry. Josh ended up winning by 4 points. He played Joe Burrow, who did okay, 20 points. Got 22 from Bijan, finally showing up for him. Stephon Diggs got 13. Terry McLaurin got 17. Zach Moss with negative 0.5. Yuck. Houston Texans did okay for 17. He played the wrong quarterback. Josh Allen got 28 points on his bench. And then for Gina, Jaden Daniels, 24. 14 for Pollard. Zay Flowers got 14. 17 for the Steelers D. Let's see what she left on her bench. Alan Lazard with 21 points. I mean, you're probably not going to play Alan Lazard, especially now. They've got Devontae Adams. But all right. Bill versus Dwayne. So Bill won by 9 something points there. Had an okay game for Lamar Jackson for Bill, 22. Kenneth Walker, 12. Najee Harris coming through with 19. Where did that come from, Najee? I think that's the most he's had in years. George Kittle with 17. Another surprise there. Then Boswell got 17 for him, too. He didn't really leave a whole lot on his bench either. On the other side, Dwayne had Baker Mayfield go for almost 40, 38.9. Chuba's coming through for him, at least with Brooks gone. Chuba's got 10 there. Tyrone Tracy did okay for him with 16. That's nice. Tank Dell and the Packers defense did all right. And he didn't really leave anything on his bench. So, okay. Let's see if I can figure this up in my head real quick. 85.6 to 84.36. So, same. Well, it's actually closer than me and Todd's game. So this might have been a game of the year here. I didn't really realize this was this close. It was 0.24 points between Sherry and Jeff. Jeff lost by 0.24. That sucks for Jeff, but neither of them really deserved a win with their point total this week. Now, Sherry might have earned the win, but 85 points, you don't deserve a win with 85 points. So Justin Fields for Sherry with 23. DeAndre Swift's coming around. He's got 17. Dobbins 16. She played their own defense. They got -2. Chase Brown got 12. Chase Brown is coming around. He's going to be number 1 in Cincinnati. I knew he would. That's why I drafted him. But all right. Let's see what else we got for Jeff. Kyler Murray didn't do great. 13. Gibbs got 9. His high point was Debo at 21. And Drake London got 13 on his bench. Man, he left Joe Mixon on his bench for 26 points. Jared Goff for 36. Deontay Johnson for 13. Jameson Williams for 14. So Jeff made some wrong decisions there. He could have won that week handily. Didn't work out. He's chasing it right now. Okay, let's go to this week. So this week it is me versus Sherry. I think this should be a gimme for me this week. Sherry's Sherry's not doing great because of Tua being hurt. And now, of course, DeAndre Swift, Brandon Aubrey's on a bye. DeAndre Swift, Dowdle, Roshan, Cole Kmet. So all of her Bears guys are on buys this week. Josh Downs isn't going to get much because Joe Flacco isn't playing in Indianapolis, and of course Tyreek and Jalen both don't have a quarterback throwing in the ball. So should be a fairly rough week for her there. On my side, Kirk Cousins is playing Seattle. It's supposed to be a very high scoring game. And then, of course, I got Henry Montgomery. Jefferson's back for me. Jaden Reed. I picked up Sam Laporta, did well last week. And then I got James Cook back in there with the Eagles defense playing the Giants. So I feel pretty confident about this week. This is the week that I think I got. Sorry, Sherry. All right. So Josh versus Glenn. This is kind of an interesting one this week. Some of that is because Devontae Adams is with the Jets now, and Amari Cooper is with Buffalo, and Glenn has both of those players. I would think they're going to force them the ball this week. It's usually how it works. So that's kind of interesting. And then I don't really have any dislikes on anybody's lineup here. I don't know about Mark Andrews for hopefully he's starting to come around. Jets versus Pittsburgh, Colts versus Miami. Yeah, I don't see any spots where I would be like, hey, you're playing the wrong guy. Sucks for Glenn that Jonathan Taylor's out again. He's got Nico Collins out still. He's got Jordan Addison on his bench, but I don't see any player I would necessarily take out of his lineup for him. I'm just trying to bide time here because I really don't know who to pick here. So I'm going to go with Glenn. Big week for the Eagles here, I think, going against the Giants. Josh Allen is going against a really good defense in Tennessee. I'll take that, I guess. I don't know what else to call here. I think it looks like a really close game, but I'll give it to Glenn there. All right, so Kirk and Dwayne. So Alvin Kamara crapped the bed for Kirk this week, 2.4 points. He was going crazy in the beginning. Now he's doing nothing. And then let's see. So he's got Jordan Love and Baker. That's a pretty good matchup. I don't know about Devon A-Chain for Dwayne, just because there's just the offense is stale right now in Miami because of Tua. I gotta give it to Kirk here. There's just too much. Travis Kelce hasn't been doing nothing. He's got Juju and Xavier, and it's just too many Chiefs for me to pick Dwayne there. There's not enough. So I've said this multiple times, but there's not enough touchdown points to go around on a team if you play 2 or 3, 4 players on the same team. There's just not enough touchdown points. You have to try to grab touchdowns from this team and touchdowns from that team and touchdowns from this team. You can't pile them all up into one because each team's only going to get 4 or 5 touchdowns a week. So you have to try to grab as much as you can, and grabbing them all from one team doesn't work. But so I'll give it to Kirk just because there's just too many Chiefs being played there for it to work out well. Although it is good for him that Kamara didn't get hardly anything. That's a plus. But they still have Kirk projection higher. Okay, so Jeff versus Gina. Jeff's Broncos defense stomped New Orleans, got 24 points. It's one of maybe the highest points for a defense I've seen so far this year. Good call there by Jeff. Made the right move for once this year. I don't know if I like to call this it Brian Robinson to play Tank Bigsby. Brian Robinson's been doing really well. I don't know. Is Brian Robinson out? Let's see here. Let's try to look into this a little bit and see why. It's not going to let me. Oh, he's questionable. Maybe that's why. Maybe he moved him down because he's questionable. I don't know. I don't know. The Tank Bigsby. Yeah. I mean, Etienne's out this week. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I like Brian Robinson though. He's got Jameer Gibbs on the bench too. Man, he's trying some stuff. On the other side here, she pretty well got the same lineup she's got every week. I don't see really any changes. Kareem Hunt's still in there. Yeah, I don't see anything to change there for Gina. I'm gonna have to give it to Jeff, just because of how many points. I mean, his defense almost triple the amount of points they were going to get, so that gives him a pretty big lead that she's going to have to overcome. I mean, he's projected for like 123 points. So give it to Jeff there just because of that defense. And, Jeff's team isn't looking bad. Drake London with Kirk Cousins is doing well. Tank Bigsby's going to be starting this week. They're going against a bad defense too. So go Jeff there. All right. Todd versus Bill. So Bill's scheduled to get 103.5. Todd's scheduled for 94. Lamar Jackson versus CJ Stroud there. I don't really see anything necessarily wrong with the people they're playing for me. Josh Jacobs. I'm going to give it to Todd. Give it to Todd this week. Todd's got A.J. Brown back. Garrett Wilson's finally come around if Devontae Adams doesn't steal all of his thunder there. Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, CJ Stroud all should have good games. Najee Harris will get shut down by the Jets this week for Bill. And Higgins is in Cleveland. That's not a good matchup either. Kittle and KC, another really tough defense. Yeah. Todd gets his second week win this week, according to me. All right, there we have it. I'm done chasing John Jude to try to get him to participate. If he's getting older and he's doing his own thing. So, all right, that's it. Good luck.